today we are going to be talking about reducing fractions. So reducing fractions means that basically you want your fractions to be the lowest number possible. So let's say we have 1/2, right? And then that is also equal to 2/4 or 3/6 or an infinite number of fractions, basically. But the reduced fraction is 1/2. It's basically the lowest fraction, the equivalent fraction that you have that uses the lowest numbers. So basically, there's no number that can divide evenly into both the numerator and denominator, I guess would be a more technical way of saying it. So there's no number that can divide into both 1 and 2 evenly, right? Other than 1, basically. So anytime you have two prime numbers in a fraction, obviously that's the most reduced because no number other than 1 can divide evenly into 3 and 7, right? So I'm going to go through and we can now look into these and see if we can reduce them. Okay, so first we have 6/9. I know that both of these are multiples of 3. That means I can divide both 6 and 9 by 3 and get the reduced fraction. So 6 divided by 3 would be 2. 9 divided by 3 would be 3. So this equals 2/3. 24/30. So this one has a common, these are multiples of 6, right? So 24 divided by 6 is 4, and 30 divided by 6 is 5, right? So this one would be 4/5. 54/63. So this fraction is, these are multiples of 9, right? So 54/9, or I'm sorry, 54 divided by 9 is 6. 63 divided by 9 is 7. Now this one I wanted to go over because there's kind of a few quirks we can find with 12/18. So I could see 12/18 and I could say, okay, well, this is not reduced. I could divide both of these by 3, which is absolutely true. So 12 divided by 3 is 4, and then 18 divided by 3 is 6. Now we have 4/6, which is also not reduced. Anytime that you have two even numbers, anytime that your numerator and denominator are both even, it means you can reduce it by dividing each by 2. And then this becomes 4 divided by 2 is 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now the reason we had to reduce this twice was because we found a factor for both 12 and 18 in 3, but that's not the biggest common factor that there is. The biggest common factor is actually 6, right? Because 6 goes into each of these, and if I divide the top by 6 and the bottom by 6, it then equals 2/3. So just make sure, if you are reducing fractions, that the fraction you reduce it to cannot be reduced further, right? And if it can be reduced further, then that just means that the factor that you reduced it by in the first place was not the biggest common factor that the two numbers had. So that is reducing fractions. It is important, especially once you get into middle school and high school. I remember at times having questions marked wrong just because my fraction was not reduced or it was not in the proper form. So this is definitely definitely an important skill to learn and understand.